Hello everyone, March W13 here with a New York City fine dining review. This evening we are at Gabriel Kreuther, an establishment just off Bryant Park in the iconic Grace Building. Chef Kreuther presents food true to his Alsatian heritage, and this restaurant was actually named one of the top 9 new restaurants in the world in 2016. So very much excited to try it. Let's get started. This is a very elegant, traditional establishment, and reservations are an absolute must, particularly on the weekends. Jackets are recommended, but not required. As with many other restaurants, paper menus have yet to return post-COVID, but you are welcome to scan the QR code provided. I really appreciate restaurants that get the little details right, like this elegantly cut glass containing Evian mineral water served from a glass bottle, plus an upscale hand sanitizer dispenser. And now for our first food of the night, a set of amuse-bouche. We have a honeydew melon soup in a shot glass and some sort of margarita gelée. The margarita gelée was quite alcoholic, tasting very much like a real margarita, while retaining its savory notes, and the soup was both refreshing and complex, kind of like a honeydew-based gazpacho, actually sweeter than I expected. It was a bit like drinking nectar, syrupy without being heavy. Also for the table was some sort of Alsatian bread with a very fresh cheese bread. The bread was surprisingly soft, like sandwich bread, and the cheese bread had a sour cream-like consistency and tasted a lot like the scallion cream cheese spread you find on bagels here in the Big Apple. Now for our first course, we have a foie gras terrine with 5-spice cornbread. The dish was very complex. I've never had foie gras quite like this before. It was almost like eating a peanut butter lace holiday cheese ball, and combined with the banana liqueur, it was evocative of like a caramel ice cream, almost like eating dessert for the first course. The 5-spice bread added some exotic sweetness, and the wine pairing was great. It was a Willie Schaefer 2018 Mosel Cabinet from a very small producer. Although the pairing was good as a palate cleanser, the wine itself was just okay, not terribly expressive. You get a lot of stone fruit on the nose, almost like a sauterne. The wine is off dry with a little hint of carbonation, actually a bit too sweet for me. You can find this at the liquor store for $55 a bottle, which I feel is a bit overpriced. Overall, great first course fueled with creativity and imagination. Again, the details matter here with Vera Pure silverware that oozes with modern design flair and was actually used at Harry and Meghan's royal wedding. For the next course, I started with a glass of Rosé Pinot Noir dominant champagne. The wine was very dry but featured powerful alcoholic fruit. It really had notes of fresh apple with a hint of strawberry, but it was definitely more appley than I'm accustomed to. And the wine was accompanied by a warm sturgeon sauerkraut tart. The tart shell was good, but tasted a bit too bready. The sturgeon itself was extremely smoky, really evocative of outdoor grilling. For me, the caviar didn't add much to the dish, and the sauerkraut was really barely noticeable, and it did add some needed acidity in Chef Kreuther's Alsatian inspiration. Overall, a good second course. The wine pairing was again cleansing, but left the pepperiness and smokiness of the dish on the palate. Next up was a very special 20-plus-year-old 2000 Chateau Bramer au Médoc, which had been decanted. It was very tobacco-forward on the nose with some grassy notes and minerality. For a highly aged wine, it had retained a lot of color without some of the nuttiness you often get from those aged wines. It was a bit more acidic and astringent on the palate than I expected. I normally sip Left Bank Bordeaux, but not this one. And then the duck confit dish arrived, which was very much like duck stuffed German sausage alongside an above average salad. The dish felt very Alsatian in a good way, and that salad was almost like a more acidic Caesar. But the dish was really quite delicate with a subtle sweetness complemented by the beans, which added some savory depth of flavor. It was a really fine pairing with the acidity of the wine cutting through the fat and various sweeter elements of the dish. Really to be savored with that highly aged wine from 2000. So for the dessert, we have something that you may not drink every day, and that's a Hungarian wine. This is a 2016 Royal Tokaj from Hungary. The nose is similar to a Sauterne with a bit more spice, and it certainly tastes a lot like a Sauterne, but perhaps with some more floral notes. But you get that intense sense of juicy fruit that just makes you want to chew the wine. Not the greatest pairing with a chocolatey dessert, I must say, but more on that with the dessert, which was salty and sweet, filled with milk chocolatey goodness with some peanut butter notes, almost like a Godiva truffle. It definitely had a dimension of Reese's Cups, but I love the rich crunchiness of the crumble layer on the bottom. Again, the dessert wine may have been the least successful pairing of the night. I think I would have preferred a dark sherry with this dish, but that's just personal preference. Your mileage may indeed vary. But by itself, the honey sweetness of the Hungarian wine was delectable. And now to cap off the night, we are presented with some frosted mignardises of marshmallows, gingerbread, and chocolate, which was the star of the bunch. Chocolate was quite intricately flavored and spiced. The marshmallows were also spiced with a sort of spicy lime coating. Well, thank you for joining me for dinner again. I felt that overall this is a very positive fine dining experience. Pretty good service and pricing, but certainly very imaginative food with average to above average wine pairings. They do have a patio, which you'll see right outside of these doors. Good for COVID seating. It's definitely suitable for a romantic splurge night out in Manhattan. Please do give it a try. Till next time, March W13 out.